Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Big Will Spotlight. We're going to discuss movies the Oscars don't care about. We're going to discuss movies that you care about. So go ahead, get yourself something to eat. Get yourself something to drink. Sit back and relax with your popcorn and your date as we go to Big Will Spotlight with your hosts, Big Will, Dr. Quack, and the important one, Mr. Mayhem.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Big Will Spotlight. I am your host, Big Will.
And I'm the important one, Mr. Mayhem. We've already gone over DC a little bit here. It's time to start talking about
Marvel, of course.
Exactly, Marvel. Yes. And of course, we've got some friends that are going to be joining us here to help discuss this. We're talking about all things comics, all things movies in Marvel. And we're bringing on, of course, the promo Damas himself, Rick Johnson. Rick.
What's going on,
Rick?
Good.
Man, he's got a lot of personality, but we're going to bring him on. We're going to talk to Onslaught.
All right,
Every party in Soultopia from here on out. So
and can't have a hero without villain. Alrighty, so we're talking about Marvel here.
We are talking about Marvel. All right, I'm excited. This is my favorite subject in our world right now. We're going to be studying something. So we're going to talk about some of the greatest movies, the worst movies. I looked up a little bit ago, and there are 26 characters in Marvel.
There's a lot. That's a lot of characters. Basically, they kind of are seen in two different worlds. You're either part of the Avengers or you're part of the X-Men.
But, you know, there's also little offshoots here. It's like, you know, like the TV shows with like Daredevil and Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. And Netflix came out, did that. Of course, Disney owns the rights to Marvel. So you can go watch it on Disney Plus. Hey,
move on. So let's go around the room here. Big Will, we'll start with you. Who are some of your favorite Marvel characters?
Favorite Marvel characters. I mean, you gotta with Avengers. I mean,
I think that's a great idea.
Iron Man, Captain America, Thor.
Nothing is more inspiring
And of course, you got like
another guy taking initiative to bring us together,
Hawkeye.
right? I was gonna throw a kickoff party,
Just
but
a
I'll
great
definitely toss my
collaboration
invitations
of the
away.
artist.
Alrighty. So, Rick, we'll take it to you now because, you know, when you're talking DC, it's obvious you're a big, huge Marvel fan. Who are some of your favorite Marvel characters?
Turn down the TV a little bit. I like. I don't know. Is there feedback? Is that me or something?
It's a little bit. It's okay.
Okay. Is that better a little bit or?
Yep, that works better.
Okay. I like X-Men. I mean, Avengers is really good. I like how all the storylines with like the movies and everything, and they actually have a thing where you can actually watch every movie in the row as well. But I was a big X-Men fan, like Wolverine, Storm, Magneto. I can't think of the guy with the Professor X. So,
all right, Onslaught.
See, there's so many different avenues, you know, like you said, whenever you think about Marvel, you think about X-Men and the Avengers, but you also got to think about the Fantastic Four, where you have one of my favorite villains, Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. But then you look at certain heroes, you know, always love a person who don't have no powers, but seem to be able to save the world, like Tony Stark, you know, Hawkeye. These guys, these are like the heroes I like because they don't have powers, they just seem to get things done.
All right. So, villain, who are some of your favorite villains? Or do you have some favorite superheroes?
So I'll give you a hero and a villain. I'll give you one of each. And obviously his name has just been come out as for pretty much not having superpowers. You have Tony Stark as Iron Man. And then Kingpin.
Alrighty.
I apologize, feedback. I'm in an airport.
Sounds
Okay.
good, man.
Yeah, I guess, do we need to contact airport security or is this not something normal for you?
Something normal.
Okay, so I guess we'll be okay. All right, so me, I didn't really get into the Avengers series all that much. I really more started watching X-Men movies, and I really enjoyed some of those kind of stories, the inner workings of how they all know each other and they all were friends, but they have different points of view, like Pyro and Iceman, how they were together
They were friends in the beginning.
They were friends in the beginning, and then one of them got turned onto the bad side, the villain side. But I really enjoyed the X-Men series. I tried to get into the Avengers. I tried to watch it, and it's almost too glitzy and glamorous. I like a little bit dirtier feel of superheroes.
Okay, so you said you like a dirtier feel of superhero?
Yeah.
And you didn't mention Deadpool? You might be the dirtiest of them all.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say he's a villain. I think he goes like more rogue. I feel like he's like in the middle because he kills, but he can justify it. I feel like
He's the bad good guy.
Yeah,
it's just the way it goes down.
I think if you're going to go with the Deadpool character is really, it's a creative standpoint of it can exist in the comic book world because he's a self-aware comic.
Yes.
You can't pretend to be a self-aware superhero in the human world. You're already self-aware. So, but that's a very creative something that only can happen in a comic book world.
Yes. And you can't sit here and end up talking about Marvel and just not bring up the great Stan Lee.
Yes, the greatest of them all. Like, and I loved it because he was always in every single movie. Some little kind of cameo he would do.
I just watched something not that long ago, and it was just like they're walking down the street, and Stan Lee's face is like on a billboard or something. It's like, hey, he's in the movie.
Yeah, that's kind of what the Marvel has said they're going to do. Is since he has passed, they're going to have little snippets of him here or there, or his face will appear somewhere. They're still keeping that tradition alive. There's been a couple of movies where he didn't make an appearance in some way, shape, or form, but they're like I think some of the beginning movies more than anything else.
Well, they didn't really. I don't know if they didn't want to appreciate him or if he didn't know how well the movies were going to do, so didn't partake in creating them.
Well, here's what you asked for with live. We actually have a question. Let's post this to the team. We've got Chris Blackheart here, Neil Thomas, asking if they evolve Hulk, what version would you like to see?
To me, you end up, if you want to go through the movies, I'm not big on the comics. I know there was the Red Hulk and stuff like that, but truly, in Thor Ragnarok, with the Hulk having Banner's voice, pretty much, he had his own thoughts and talk. That was like the best part. It was comic.
So, Brick, your thoughts of all the different versions of the Hulk? Would you like to
I think I like the Infinity Wars one, or like the one where he was doing battle with like Thor. And remember when they were like off on that planet? And
That was Ragnarok.
okay, yeah, that one, and the one where what's the other guy's? What's the Thor's brother?
Loki.
Loki. Yeah, he goes, bow down to me, I'm God, and he just picks him up, slams gun. He goes, puny God.
Nice.
Or my favorite part is like I don't remember the guy. I know it's Hulk, but like, what was the guy's name? It was Doc or something. Bruce. Yeah, he said he got to the point where he got so depressed that he tried to shoot himself, and then Hulk actually spit it out. So he tried to end his life, and he couldn't because Hulk was too strong.
Nice. So,
And for somebody who ends up trying to bring it up and everything like that, yes, the Hulk's name is supposed to be David Banner. Bruce Banner was the dad.
Okay. Now here's the thing about the comics. The comics originally he was gray. Something happened with the color. That's why they had to go with green. Okay. There was something with the comics where he was gray at first, and then something happened, and they had to use a different color, and that's why you see it as like the green.
To do something to change the color a little bit, and it ended up being green. And that's why the shorts ended up being purple instead of some other color.
So Onslaught, same question about the Hulk.
My favorite incarnation of the Hulk, She-Hulk.
Okay. Yeah, there's different. Yeah, because like how many different variations of Hulks is there? Because there was the Incredible Hulk and the She-Hulk, but I thought there was like a red one and like
Red Hulk and
maybe
a Red Hulk.
Hulk.
There's a blue one.
Blue one.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different like when Bruce started evolving himself in the Hulk, like when he became an older version, like when he had the beard and everything, gray beard and everything, where he was more, where he had smarts as well as brawn. It made him one of the best variations because it wasn't just straight brute force. Now he thought about what he was doing before he did it.
Okay. And I would say for me, because I'm not really into the Avengers much, but I grew up watching the original Incredible Hulk TV show from the early 80s that had Bill Bixby playing Bruce Banner and Lou Ferrigno was the Hulk. And I enjoyed the way that Ferrigno played the Hulk kind of as Hulk smash, mean, big Hulk, but he also had a curiosity about the way he looked at things that I think has been lost as they transitioned him into the Avengers. He just became Hulk smash, and he didn't really have a wonderment about it in the world. So I enjoyed the original telling from the TV show. All right, so we had another question here. I'm going to merge these two questions here together, and these are from Miss Fred. So the first one, who is the hottest character from DC Marvel in your opinion? And the second part of that is, who is the freakiest character in DC Marvel in your opinion? So Miss Red's getting a 2-for-1 question here.
Well, my opinion, the hottest character was Captain Marvel. I don't know this then for the freakiest, it's got to be Mystique.
Yeah. I think you're right on that one, Brick.
I'm trying to think of her name. Who was the? Actually, you know what? I think it's the hottest for me is probably Halle Berry as Storm.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the freakiest, who is that? He looked like a blue kind of demon in the
Mystique.
X-Men.
Nightcrawler.
Was it Nightcrawler, the one that could disappear and come back?
Yeah.
That was probably to me I thought he was freaky.
All right, and welcome to the show, Dave Baker, Ivan Rage.
Hi, guys.
Oh goodness.
All right. So Onslaught, the question out of you: hottest and freakiest.
The hottest. See, that's a toss-up because I'm gonna give you one from each genre. I'm gonna give you one from Marvel, one from DC. Because we're gonna go with Halle Berry, but we're gonna go with Halle Berry as Catwoman.
That's DC. That got the DC side of it.
That's the DC side for hottest.
Okay.
Then for hottest on the Marvel side, I want to go with Psylocke, because she just had on like almost like a bikini the whole time, and she was pretty fierce. And then freakiest,
Okay.
on the DC side, Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
And on the Marvel side, I would have to go with Mystique because she's the only one that was always naked.
There you go.
Which Mystique, though? The one from the original X-Men or Jennifer Lawrence's
Mystique.
Rebecca Romijn?
There is no variation. It's just Mystique. I can go with Mystique from the comic book. Just Mystique.
But I'm not going to out of here without mentioning Scarlet Witch also. I mean, talking about her.
Alrighty. So, Dave, the question is the hottest and the freakiest from DC or Marvel or both?
All right. So I'll start off with I got to go with Black Widow on this. Something about Scarlett Johansson in that tight-ass leather suit. Oh, my Lord. And then freakiest, I got to go with Nightcrawler.
Okay. Well, for me, hottest, Famke Janssen as Dr. Jean Grey.
Okay.
And for freakiest one, I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm also going to go for Famke Janssen as Dr. Jean Grey because she basically can do any and everything she wants. If she can think it, it happens. So that's my choice.
Okay.
All righty. Then we had one more follow-up question here since we were talking about He-Man. It's also come from Big Miss Red. Who would win in a fight, the Hulk or He-Man? Big Will.
We're gonna just go with it's gotta be the Hulk on that. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, He-Man, big, strong, whatever. As the Hulk, as He-Man would be hitting the Hulk, you get angrier and angrier, get bigger and bigger.
All right. Airport Dylan, I don't know if you'll have a chance to talk with us. Looks like you're getting ready to board a plane.
Like he's on a plane.
But if you have a couple moments, so who's the hottest and freakiest superhero or supervillain out there? DC, Marvel, doesn't matter. He's still okay. He's taking some instructions, so let's move back. So, Brick, while Dylan's taking his instructions here, the question about Hulk versus He-Man.
I mean, it has to be Hulk. I mean, I don't know anybody that could match his power. Maybe, maybe Superman, but that's about it.
Okay. Onslaught?
I'm going to play devil's advocate. Because, see, everybody's looking at the fight getting prolonged. With He-Man, He-Man's quick and to the point. You don't see long, drawn-out fights with He-Man. So, if he uses the power of Grayskull right, I think he could get the Hulk.
Okay.
Okay.
I got to go Hulk.
Okay. All right. I'm also going to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say He-Man.
Okay.
He-Man from the standpoint of he's got, the Hulk has his powers. He-Man has his powers, but his powers have more of a magical bent to them and less of a mutation. So I think his powers are more expansive and his strength is a little bit more expansive that he could take down the Hulk.
All right.
And Dylan still looks like he's lifting in some instructions. So,
I will say
the question
Venom.
is, and then He-Man versus the Hulk.
He was
I think he said Thanos.
No, I said Venom.
Venom. Okay.
All right. He's kind of falls into that bad good category too.
Yeah. All righty. And while we're out here, if you've got any questions, if you're watching the show, go ahead.
I said I'm about to take off, guys. I'll see you.
All right. Thank
Have
you
a
for
great
taking some
trip,
time and
man.
joining
Great
us.
trip, man.
Be safe. All right. So we've got a question here. Another question here coming in from Neil. What do we think of the Black Widow film being canceled?
Well, if they were coming out with a second one after going back and watching the one that they did come out with, the movie itself needed to have a second and third one kind of thing, just from the standpoint of the movie kind of sucked. I mean, they did a good job of bringing in her sister, escaping me now. Whatever. The other Black Widow, her sister. And I mean, they did a good job of bringing that in, which then they started taking that into the TV series with Hawkeye, since Black Widow herself is dead now. Can't say that, bother me that if they actually have canceled it and aren't going to do it at all.
All right. So, Brick, what's your thoughts on that?
I think it kind of sucks, but maybe they'll come back around to it eventually. It'd be nice if they did, because they need to kind of further the story. Because they did a little bit. Because was she in that one with the? I'm trying to think of Black Widow. She was in that one with the Disney Plus series, right?
Yeah, she was in Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, where they did that weird 50s kind of thing, right? Or was that a different story?
You're thinking of Scarlet Witch and
That's what I'm thinking of.
WandaVision.
WandaVision. Thank you.
WandaVision, yeah. Okay. Sorry. But yeah, I think with Black Widow, they need to. She was the one. I'm trying to remember.
She's the one that's always in all black leather.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they need another one for her, but maybe they'll circle back around. Maybe they just didn't have the budget. It sucks, but I like the Marvel side when they do a couple movies, because some of them actually go along with the Infinity War kind of story as well, compared to where some of it actually continues after the aliens have come in or after Avengers come together. So I think it's kind of neat to see the expansion, to see those kind of movies with those.
Well, I think they're trying to take that towards the TV series now, because Tony Stark's dead, Captain America's dead, Black Widow's dead. So they continued on with Hawkeye. So they can take it and go different directions. But
I don't know if anybody else did, but when Tony Stark died, I cried. I shed a few tears.
I absolutely cried, but there are rumors of TV show coming out, or movie, I believe it is, of his daughter taking over Iron Man. There are rumors going around about that right now.
Technically, can't really
My name is Xavier.
kill the character off because it's a suit.
No.
It's made by Stark Industries, so not like Stark Industries died. Tony Stark himself.
No, when Tony Stark died, I cried at that one.
I'm just
not a
they
big one, but there's tears.
Yeah. All right. So, Onslaught, you weigh in on this?
Okay, I forgot what the question was because they went off on the tangent.
It's about the canceling of the Black Widow.
Oh well, I understand. With the issue that they had with Scarlett Johansson, they canceled it. But with her being deceased, another prequel just doesn't seem like it fit since you just ran the whole Hawkeye TV series where it was talking about her being dead and getting revenge for her death. So with that aspect, if they were going to have to run it again, they would have to run it with the little sister taking up the mantle as Black Widow.
Yeah, Yelena. I had to look it up again, but
Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the character. The fact of, I'm not very caught up on movies as it is. So that's why we have Big Will here to do the movies, because that's not a character I'm really familiar with, so I have no opinion. So the next question here coming from Miss Red. He wanted to ask, who's the all-time favorite villain?
Oh, can I start?
Sure, we'll start. Go ahead.
I'm happy to go with Thanos. Thanos was one of my all-time favorite
keep kind of
villains.
disappearing from the picture.
It's okay.
Just because you got a glimpse of him rarely, and then he comes full on out, and he was more of that hidden type of figure, and they kept hinting at him throughout the Marvel series, and then he finally comes out in Infinity War and Endgame. So
Okay.
All right.
I mean, with Thanos, though, I mean, they ended up humanizing him and killing him off. But with Magneto, it's just always good versus bad with him. I mean, he's a great leader. He's got the right thought process. He's got the right ideas, the wrong thought process.
right, but they ended up humanizing him too, because if you remember
he's
at the
human
end,
the whole time.
well, he was more mutant than anything. If you watch in X-Men First Class, he started out as good, and then towards the end of that film,
That's why I said he
thought
process.
and then at the end of the third X-Men, Beast came up, jumped up behind him, and stuck him with that where it takes away your mutation or whatever,
Right, yeah.
and he went human.
Yeah.
Full on
Sort
human.
of. Sort of. But they had to reboot. They had to do a reboot on that one.
Yeah. I mean, just to me, I mean, with the comics and everything like that, this is the one comic that I actually did read was X-Men kind of thing. And I mean, it's just, he's been like with it the whole time. So, I mean.
And for me, I like Sebastian Shaw more than I like Magneto. I definitely kind of enjoy the Hellfire Club being that little offshoot that just wants to see the world burn, but not where I'm standing. And I kind of like that feel of, he's not out for total glory. He's not out for the money. He's just out to cause chaos, but at the same time, he doesn't want to destroy the world. That's all the thing I don't like about some iterations of the Joker. Yes, there are people in the world who just want to see it burn and they don't care if they're caught in it. But a supervillain shouldn't want to see the whole world burn. They should just want to see other parts of it burn. And I like that Sebastian Shaw plays it that way.
Okay.
Great.
I'm with Big Will there. I really like Magneto. Just the rich history. He was very methodical. I felt like everything had a purpose, or he'd take like the lost souls and bring them through, and just I don't know. And then he wanted to get rid of all the mutants, right? Or the humans. But I mean, he was just out. I mean, he's just evil. I really like him as a villain.
All right. Onslaught.
Okay, so I'm going a little different. Now, I do kind of agree with Ivan Rage over there, but the only thing is with Thanos, he's like the only villain that actually won.
Yeah.
Even if it was for a short period of time, he won. But when I say my favorite villain, it has to be Apocalypse.
Ooh, yeah. There you go.
Apocalypse was just, he didn't care.
Yeah, he's a god, so
Here you go.
Well,
right.
you know, with Thanos, he seemed like he didn't care either because, like, the thing he loved the most, he sacrificed for power, and that was his daughter, right? Well, he's like stepdaughter or raised her up as her daughter.
Basically taken from tribes, and he decided he was going to raise them. He had to,
And then to get one of those stones, was it the life stone, right, or something?
The Soul Stone.
It's
Soul
also,
Stone. Yeah, he sacrificed her. He's
But
like,
he
the thing I
cried.
have the most love.
but he cried,
Yeah.
so he cared. Apocalypse just
not
doesn't care at
enough.
all.
But not enough. Yeah. He cared more about power than.
All right. So next question we got here: would you like to see Scar and his brother brought in on a Marvel film series?
Ooh, what?
I'm not familiar with that one either. So
Yeah.
Scar's another incarnation of the Hulk. He's part of Team Hulk.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. I started thinking of Lion King.
Yep.
yeah, I wasn't familiar with that one either. So apologize. I guess you know something about it. You and Onslaught. So
No, that's what
you
I
didn't
said.
Onslaught.
No,
So
the Lion King.
okay. Sorry, all I heard of it from this side. I couldn't tell who it was. All right, so let's move on to another question here. I'm going to kind of merge these two questions together here. Do you believe the Iron Man series has been overdone in film? And then, because kind of the anti-hero, how do you feel with the emergence of popularity of the anti-hero theme?
Gonna get into big serious questions here. Huh?
It's misread. She is a very serious and thoughtful person.
I won't say the Iron Man series was overdone. If it wasn't for Iron Man, the Avengers side of it wouldn't have ended up coming out. I will say that the second one, sorry, Mickey Rourke, you're a good actor. Just in that movie kind of sucked. Then of course, they had to do the third one, and I mean, then they incorporated Avengers, so of course he had to be there because he was an Avenger. So I mean, I can't really say the Iron Man series was overdone, but the 12 that he had to be in, it was what it was.
All right.
I don't think it was overdone. I think it spanned around the right time. I'm looking forward to seeing if these rumors are true that his daughter is going to take up the Iron Man mantle, and see what becomes of that. Then the anti-hero, absolutely, I love it.
Okay.
I love the whole. I love the whole anti-hero thing with like Venom, whatever. I believe Deadpool is Marvel, so and he's an anti-hero as well, and I absolutely love it. I think they need to do more the anti-hero.
That's what I was saying. There's a lot of them that are doing like the bad good guy thing. It's not like they're out there doing bad things, do bad things. They're doing bad things to bad people.
And I'm not a big Iron Man fan, so while I don't think it was overdone, I think that they ran right up to the fine line of doing too much Iron Man and stopped right there. So it was very close to being overdone, in my opinion. Because yes, while he is a very popular character with many people in the comic genre, boring character. He really is. He's an inventor, but now the anti-hero theme has always existed. I like the anti-hero of doing, bad people doing bad things, or bad people doing bad things to even worse people. I don't have a problem with that. Those kind of movies were very popular in the 80s. When you look at Charles Bronson, you look at Clint Eastwood, the Dirty Harry character was basically a corrupt cop that didn't take money, but he was killing the really bad people with impunity. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it makes for compelling stories. Rick?
I mean, if they don't overdo it, it'll be okay. I know, like, Deadpool's a good one. They have, like, what, 3 now? 2 or 2.5, something like that. There's a talk about, I think, 3, but
Well, they
I mean,
did the first one again with the whole Princess Bride thing.
well, I mean, you kind of think because like the way they did it before with the whole X-Men, they kind of written them off and killed them off pretty quick in the X-Men movies.
Okay.
But I mean, if they do it tastefully, then it's okay. I'm more like the hero versus villain. I'm not a big anti-hero. I think it's funny with Deadpool, but other than that, I don't really know much of the anti-hero ones.
Venom.
Nothing.
Venom was an anti-hero.
Okay.
I have other name.
Onslaught.
All right, so with Iron Man, they gave you enough Iron Man that now that they're taking him away, you want him more. So they gave you enough that they leave you wanting more. The anti-hero thing, it's actually working because, well, it's been working for a long time because you've been using people like the Punisher, who definitely worked by his own set of rules. The Silver Surfer, who started off like what he did to save his home planet, but he was still destroying other planets. Then he realized what he did was wrong, and he went to try to right that wrong. Then, of course, you got, of course, your favorites like Deadpool, but the anti-heroes, Venom, like Venom's awesome because it depends on what version of Venom you want to see. Venom wants to eat a person and save the next person. So it made it very interesting. And then, of course, you got Quack.
Quack, 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 quack.
Yeah, we're talking about Disney later. We'll talk about Disney later.
Howard the Duck.
No, he's a Marvel character.
He's actually a Marvel character.
Yeah, I know. But like there's a lot of villains that turn hero and go back, like y'all favorite guy Magneto. He turns good just enough to get what he wants, and then he's gonna slide away and go back evil. So
well, enough for his own advantage, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But there's a great question that just popped up over there. And
I'm about to bring this one up for Miss Red, and I'm going to make a little bit more of a question out there. She asked the question, who do you think would win, Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark? So I want to merge this into cross-promotion, DC versus Marvel. What's the ultimate fight you would like to see? DC versus Marvel in a battle?
Oh, wow.
Go ahead.
Okay. To answer that one simply, I don't know if we got Tony Stark in the Iron Man suit, but either way, I would take Bruce Wayne over it and just a heads up. And then even after that, Bruce Wayne as Batman, of course, had all the little trinkets and gadgets, and would probably take Iron Man apart anyway. Well, he fought Superman in one.
There you go. So do you have a DC versus Marvel ultimate battle if you could see it?
Oh. I would have to think on that one for a minute. I mean, we can go around to what the fight would end up being for that.
All right.
You're going to post something like that.
Go ahead. Oh, I'm fully in agreement that Bruce Wayne would beat Tony Stark because, again, he fought Batman. But Tony Stark has always had a little help, like the way the movie is. Somebody else had to give him that power in his chest that he can survive and keep his heart beating. Bruce Wayne has always been kind of on his own. Yes, he had Alfred and all that, but Bruce Wayne has really been on his own, and Tony Stark's kind of had a group of people always helping him. So if it's a one-on-one match, definitely I would take Bruce Wayne. Now, the ultimate match that I would like to see is Superman against Thor.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you got?
I'm gonna have to go with Tony Stark.
Okay.
I think if it's no suit, I think Tony Stark would win that. But if it's with suits on, I'm gonna have to go with Tony Stark, just because Tony Stark has more on it in his suit, power wise, weapon wise, to take down Batman. Batman's got his little flashbang, and then Tony Stark has that computer that can track in the smoke where his opponent is. And then ultimate best battle I would like to see, I'd have to agree with you. That'd be a great battle.
Yeah.
All right. Brick?
Well, it depends. If Bruce Wayne had time to study and find out Tony Stark's weakness, then he would win. Because that's the thing with Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is not a superhero. He was just a regular guy that's super, with real messed up and a lot of money. He always had a weakness for somebody. He always had that in his belt just in case. So if it came down, if he could study and find the weakness for Iron Man, it would be Bruce Wayne. But if it was just a heads-up fight where they just met, probably Iron Man. I think he has more of the advanced technology. He has more of the technology and, the bombs and other stuff that could take out Batman, where Batman just has his gadgets. And he has some bombs too, but not. I feel like Tony Stark has the more advanced technology compared to Bruce Wayne.
All right. Onslaught.
And then, and then the ultimate. I want to say it'd probably be Superman versus Wolverine, because both of them don't die, and they both heal, unless you take the antimanium out of Wolverine. But
And then you stab Superman with kryptonite. So they both have their weaknesses.
I mean,
I
either
think
way,
that'd be interesting.
because Wolverine's true power is not the adamantium. It's that he is healing. I mean, the bone spur things, it was all added on. Don't know why they ever decided to make them razor blade kind of things when it should just be adamantium covered bones, but hey, I'm not Stanley. I didn't have anything to do with that. But yeah, for my ultimate, it would have ended up being, I don't know if we skipped over it.
We'll come to Ed.
Would be Batman versus Wolverine. Don't know why. I mean, just Batman is basically the best fighter of all of them, just from study and technique and stuff like that. Whereas Wolverine heals. So.
Yeah, but with the super strength compared to just a regular human, I think that's where Batman's downfall is. He's not a super. He doesn't have that abilities compared to other ones.
But Wolverine don't have super strength.
Nobody has that healing.
All you gotta do is hold him like this. Wolverine's short.
So Onslaught, what you got?
All right, so Bruce versus Tony. Hands down, Bruce will win. Why? Because Bruce is trained by the League of Assassins.
There you go.
Secondly, if Tony made it to the Iron Man armor, a lot of people forgot that Bruce has that same type of armor. He does have the Iron Bat suit.
Yeah.
So head to head, I think he could reach in there and rip out that the arc reactor, and there's no more Iron Man.
I mean, billionaire versus billionaire.
Yeah.
The EMP batarang coming from.
And then my ultimate matchup, I think it would be a battle for the name. Captain Marvel versus Captain Marvel, or as they want to call him now, Shazam.
Ooh.
I think it'd be interesting because of the mystical standpoints from both of them.
I think they froze.
Yeah, I do too.
We're back. We were frozen there for a second.
All right.
Let everybody else get caught up here. So let's see here.
There's a couple of them.
Wolverine versus Deadpool.
Wolverine versus Deadpool.
They're on like the same. They're kind of on the same team. So I don't really see them.
Yes.
I wouldn't really see them.
I mean,
fighting.
well, truly it did. I mean, even though they kind of refer.
Oh, they're gone again. Besides, Wolverine versus Deadpool will go on for eternity.
Yeah, because they both can heal.
Yeah. Oh, they left. I guess I'm the host now.
Well, but didn't they chop his head off in the X-Men movie?
Like for both of them, like they both have the healing power, but their healing power is only so far. You know, you can only heal so far. Like they both of them been dead. They both been killed off, and of course, you know, everybody get the mind erase drug and get thought about. Oh well, that never happened. But yes, Wolverine's been dead.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Internet and technology get in the way. All righty.
Ivan Rage ain't have enough money.
Up here. So we're going to compare here at the same time. One of the questions that came in was Daredevil versus Hawkeye, who wins? And Wolverine versus Deadpool, who wins?
That one actually did take place. Wolverine versus Deadpool. They didn't really refer to him as Deadpool in the movie. In the credits, they call him Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds played all of Deadpool.
Yeah.
They refer
5
to him
minutes.
as Weapon X, that movie, but that's okay. So Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine beat himself, even though it was a different. So,
but Daredevil versus Hawkeye. Ooh, I mean, Hawkeye doesn't miss and he can fight. But Daredevil with his special hearing ability may end up being able to get Hawkeye to miss him, but then again, you know, straight up fighting together, I don't know. That wouldn't be tough too.
all right. So, Dave, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm not answering that Daredevil versus Hawkeye. That's just too tough. Wolverine versus Deadpool. I mean, we saw Wolverine get off by his superhuman self in the last movie, so I'm gonna go with Deadpool. Deadpool just you tear him in half, he grows little baby legs. So
Fight
Yeah.
be over.
All right. So I'm going to take Hawkeye over Daredevil. That's a tough call. Either way, I'm going to take it because Hawkeye doesn't miss, while Daredevil, you know, has their own unique ability. Hawkeye will get that lucky shot to end the final fight of Daredevil Hawkeye. And Wolverine, Deadpool, they're still fighting some 500 years later, but I would take Deadpool from the standpoint of Wolverine would think he has the stab. All of a sudden, Deadpool pulls him in, and he traps him and holds him down. So I'm going to take Deadpool just because the battle of eventually, they've proven that eventually the adamantium kills Wolverine. Deadpool hasn't shown he can die yet. Plus, he knows he's a comic book, so he has an advantage. Great.
Hawkeye versus Daredevil. I feel like Hawkeye is just a little faster than Daredevil and a little bit more strategic. So I think with his assassin skills, he would definitely beat him. I think it would be close, but yeah, it would be that little bit of edge that I feel like Hawkeye has compared to Daredevil, and then Deadpool versus Wolverine. I agree, or they just get bored and stop fighting after so many years too.
Yeah.
So either Deadpool would win, or they just get bored, be like, "Hey, we fought for like how many years? Let's just stop."
Let's go have a pint. Onslaught.
So I'm going to start off with Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's going to be a time limit draw.
Yeah.
Or Hulk's going to just see both of them and rip them both in half and then throw them to the opposite ends of the planet. And Daredevil versus Hawkeye. I'm going to go with Daredevil because even though Hawkeye doesn't miss, neither did Bullseye. And we see what Daredevil did with Bullseye.
Yeah. That was something that was brought up by Ken Flockhart.
And I get that, but I feel like with Hawkeye, he's just a little faster. And I think Hawkeye would outbeat Daredevil. I just feel like he's a little bit more strategic and a little bit more faster. Because like Bullseye, that's all he is. Like he knows how to hit his target.
Right, but if you really want to be honest, Rick, with Daredevil's abilities, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here as well. He's got that like sonar sense, so whenever, let's say, Hawkeye jumps up onto a ledge to shoot, and he lets go of that arrow, to hear where that arrow is coming from and where he's stepping from. So Daredevil has that little bit of advantage. I'm not gonna say who would win up in a heads-up fight. That's Daredevil.
But I feel like with the sonar, you could mess that up too. I mean, there's ways to put more than one sound at the same time, and so you don't know where.
But you need multiple people to do that. So if he wants to create a sound way over here to distract him and then shoot him from over here, how are you going to?
Like I said, he would be strategic like that, and I think he would just have a little bit more of an edge.
But you also got to understand, Hawkeye is only as good as his eyes.
Yeah.
So if Daredevil takes his sight away.
Right, but then Daredevil's also known to hide from people too. So how is Hawkeye going to see him at that point? You know what I mean?
I mean, I see both points.
I thought we talked that long about those two characters.
Hey, and we appreciate everybody providing all these comments and all these questions for us to discuss.
But who wins the fight ultimately is going to be Miss Red.
Yep, and Miss Red summed up the Deadpool versus Wolverine battle the best. Her comment, I think the dialogue between the two of them would be hilarious. I think they fight for eternity and everybody else dies laughing.
Or they just become both anti-heroes and become like a partnership or something.
They're both kind of anti-heroes as it is.
Yep.
I mean, they're both similar. I think it'd be hilarious to put them both in a movie together and just make it like like a fan kind of fiction or something, and just see what shenanigans they could make up.
I mean, technically, they were both in a movie together. If you want to be honest, look at the ending of, I believe it was Deadpool 2, where Ryan Reynolds goes all the way back and shoots himself when he was Project X, Mutant X, or whatever he was. And he goes, wait, Weapon X, thank you. he made the appearance in that.
So here's a question from somebody who hasn't chimed in yet for everybody, and this is actually a pretty good one. This is from one of the people who does our previews and reviews of wrestling pay-per-views. Brandon Seeger asked the question: could Magneto be capable of picking up Thor's hammer?
No.
Because it's not made of metal. And no.
There really is only one other person besides Thor that can pick up that hammer.
Captain America.
Captain America.
Because his dad's, I'm not going to
Pure
try
heart.
and quote what his dad said, but pretty much you have to have that pure soul or pure heart to be able to pick up the hammer. Decides who picks it up.
And Vision.
On the Thor movie, when it was taken away from him, and he found the hammer, he couldn't pick it up.
Well, let me ask the counteraction, and if you use a little bit of the physics here. Okay, so he can't magnetic to lift it. Could he go around the air around the outside that has a magnetic field and make that air lift the hammer into the air?
No. I'm going to say no. Because that wouldn't be lifting it by himself purely alone. That'd be having help lifting it through the ground.
All right. So
And they're gone again.
Of
I
course.
wonder if they're having storms.
No, it's just Ivan Ray's head is electromagnetic.
I want to be devil's advocate and say yes. I think because what kind of metal is it? The hammer is it metal
It's
or is it?
it's not an earthly material, and like he's not actually able because it's enchanted, so it has a magical property to it.
But at the same time, he's a mutant, so he's not technically human either.
Okay,
I think he could.
Thor's a
I think,
god.
right? I think Magneto could if he did it just right. I think he could.
Because the thing is, the hammer enchantment, you're only able to lift it if you're worthy enough to control the power of Thor. That's the reason they said only certain people have been able to lift it.
What's wrong with you guys' internet? Is there storms down there, or is it Mr.
Alright, so we're back.
It's Ivan Ray's forehead.
No, it's Dr. Quack's magnetic personality gets in the way. He came upstairs and screwed things up.
Yeah, pretty much. It was all good till he showed up. All right, we're going on the hour mark here, and this last question. Oh, we got another one.
No, that's just a follow-up. So we'll take this as our last question.
I thought we were going to take that and run it for the next one.
Yep, well, I was going to play it here, and how we're going to start with the next question. So coming up on our next show.
The first question is going to be the Juggernaut versus the Blob. Oh, yeah.
But that'll be for the next show. That's our hook to bring you back.
Yeah, you want to find out what my thoughts are on that.
All right.
All right. Yeah, we're at the minute mark. The hour mark. We're going over. And this is the longest show I've ever done. We did it live. All right.
Great job. So give us the symbol.
All right. So we're going to log out here. And like I said, we're going to come back next week with Juggernaut versus Blob. Anybody else got anything you want to add real quick?
I love you guys, and thank you for having me on the show this week. It was a great pleasure.
Oh, thank you for coming in, and thank you to Greg. Thank you to Ed. See, it's going to disappear again because he said something. And thanks to Dylan, even though he's not here. We will catch you next week. Thank you.